Greetings, weary travelers, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course, tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkaniir, and as usual, I'm joined by two of my amazing co-hosts, starting with the man, the myth, the legend himself, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
I am great. Good to be back this week.
It's good to have you back. And also joined by the queen of giggles, the joy of the show, HyperPixie herself. How's it going, Pixie?
Going good over here.
That's always, as usual, great to hear. Now, we are back with an all-new episode after taking a break last week because I was asleep and the rest of the crew was a bit feeling under the weather, but mainly I was asleep. So we skipped the show, but we are back, and we are back with the celebration of update 29. We got a lot to talk about, except Lotus because he's on console, so he didn't really have too much experience with it. This is one of the rare times that we get to tease him in Elder Scrolls Online related stuff because he basically beats us in everything else. So
I moved around 200 champion points. I did that.
I mean, that's not even good enough in the original system.
Not even close.
So yeah, today we are gonna tease Lotus. We are gonna talk about the new champion point system. What do we think about it? New dungeons and all the new stuff, as well as listen to Lotus's struggles in Battle Spire because those are always my favorite. But before we get into all that, because this is the first episode of March, gotta give a lot of shout-outs to our amazing patrons. Not Patreons, but patrons. I'll need to get that right. But, starting with our knights, as usual, Jondar keeping up the knight pledge for all this time. But this time, we also have a new addition to our knights, and that is SD with a double pledge. Because he pledged at the end of February, and right away got charged on the beginning of March, and apparently he did it so knowingly, so I really appreciate that, SD. That said, we also have our amazing champions, as usual, Solace Gaming, Zymergy, and Starfalling Games. All of you, as well as our Vanguards and the Torchbearers and Twitch supporters, you all make all of this happen, so thank you very much, and I appreciate that. One behind-the-scenes update as well, before we get into the actual show part of things. So I messaged our podcast host, publish thingy. I don't even know what they're called. Well, I know the brand, but I don't know what it's technically called. Because what has been happening is I would publish the episode and all the RSS feeds, like on iTunes, Spotify, whatever, all of those, would get updated after like 24 hours. So that was a huge delay, so I emailed them and they suggested some stuff which I relayed to my hosting service and they did some stuff. So hopefully from now on episodes will be going up faster, and if not, I will continue working on that until I can just publish them and have all of the things updated at the same time, or at least within the hour or two, because 24-hour delay is too much. So yeah, hopefully that'll get better. And that's about it. That's about the behind the scenes updates. So, as a quick to mention, the big news of the week, in addition to the Elder Scrolls Online part of things, which was the Flames of Ambition DLC release, is the merger between ZeniMax Media and all of its subsidiaries and Microsoft is officially complete. Everything is signed. They had a panel, they had a roundtable together, so it's official. You can find a massive amount of Bethesda games or ZeniMax Media games in what's it called? Xbox Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. So they are all in the Xbox Game Pass now, and the official journey begins. They had a really nice, really lovely roundtable. It took like hour and a half, I think. And they had all the studio leads from under the ZeniMax Media umbrella. It's like id Software. I always call them ID Software. Turns out it's id Software, which really sounds weird, but their own studio lead called it id Software, so I guess I was wrong all this time. So, like, there was the Arcane, there was obviously ZeniMax. Matt Firer was on it, the man, the myth, the president.
The man, the myth, the president. President of ESO.
Yeah, president of ESO. So yeah, it was a very lovely video. They had a really nice new ad that they did together, which had the Microsoft games and the ZeniMax Media games together, and it was edited in a way that every clip just like triggered the next one and things. It was beautiful. So great journey ahead, hopefully. And I don't know, I felt like this strange pride seeing all that, because I felt like I was part of it, even though, you know, as we are on just the consumer side of things. But I don't know, I felt a strange pride seeing all that, and I got emotional. So I'm wishing the entire ZeniMax and Bethesda team the best, and looking forward to see what they come up with under Microsoft, because that's a massive merger.
It is. It's crazy to think about how much that went for, and you know, it's mega corporations dealing with other mega corporations at this point, which is fine, but I would enjoy all of this so much more if you please set me free from being trapped on the PlayStation Network for this. Just my usual plug. Microsoft, you have the money and infrastructure to fix this. Free me.
Yeah, but do they have the influence over Sony to free you? Because I feel like it's Sony who's not freeing you, not Microsoft.
No. But that's 100% the case from my understanding. But what I'm thinking here is, if they can't back up enough dump trucks of money to convince Sony, I'm always about being user friendly. But if Sony's not going to play nice in this situation, assuming that is the holdup, which I mean, it seems pretty much like it is, since they're constantly the holdup with all of these things with everybody else. I don't know why it wouldn't be here. As somebody on the PlayStation, fine, then play hardball. Be mean to them and be like, fine, you don't get Elder Scrolls 6, you don't get Starfield. Play nice, or you don't get any of this garbage. So
yeah, but here's the thing. They're already not going to get a lot of those new things on PlayStation, most likely. It
seems more up in the air than a lot of people want to admit, because
yeah,
I think what it is, and the other thing is too, even if they weren't or say they were planning on doing it or not doing it, Sony wouldn't have that information. So just make it seem like it's got a chance, because once I'm free, I'm out. Like, let me on the PC. That's fine. I mean, ideally, I've mentioned I love the Destiny 2 way of doing things. Destiny 2 is fine. I mean, it's whatever. I like it enough, but I don't play Destiny 2 that much. But their file transfer that they have one master account, and you can play on any platform. You just log in from your account. It's so great, because even if you had multiple going into it, you picked which one you wanted to determine was your master account. So like in my case, I would be like, make the PlayStation one my master account and just throw my PC one away or whatever. And the way that you still make money, or Destiny makes a chunk of their money, is you only have the DLC that you've purchased on that platform. So Sony would still get their cut. If I wanted to go join my friends on PlayStation, I would need to get the DLC in order to play with it. Same thing on PC. I would need to re-get them. Is that kind of expensive? Yeah, okay, whatever. It's a luxury that I would like to have that as an option.
Also, there's a very simple solution to all your problems. Just stop getting a PlayStation, man. It's
Well, to be fair, I didn't even have a PS3. I have no brand loyalty.
Okay, no. But
At
see,
all.
here's the thing: you have a PS4 right now, right?
Yeah.
Don't get the 5. Just
I
leave
have-
it at
yeah.
4 and be
Yeah.
done with it, and all your
Oh,
problems are solved.
The only, well, actually, to be fair, I've played a couple exclusives that I cannot recommend enough. Play Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War.
Yes.
I didn't say that on an Elder Scrolls podcast.
Horizon
But
got to PC. Although
Yep,
apparently
well,
it's a terrible.
it's patched
port.
now.
Oh, really?
Apparently it's been fixed.
Oh, I should
yeah,
get
I've
it
heard
then.
that. No, I've heard it's been fixed because I know when it launched, it was a train wreck. Supposedly, a couple of my friends who have picked it up have said, what do you call it? That it works fine now after it's been
Look,
addressed.
The three biggest exclusives of PlayStation in the last few years are on PC now. Red Dead Redemption on PC, Horizon on PC, Detroit Become Human on PC. They all come to PC. You just gotta wait a little bit. It's fine.
And that's the other one I'm hoping you guys get on PC eventually. The new God of War, I literally just beat it the other day. Oh my god, that game is good.
I am so lucky that I don't enjoy that gameplay. So,
well, it is. The only side effect is it is Viking and Nord up the ass. Like that is the most Viking Nord game I've ever seen.
I'm just waiting for the second Hellblade. And
but, okay,
well,
let's that's Microsoft.
Let's bring this back
about
into
Elder
topic.
Scrolls. That's my semi-weekly rant on why Sony blows and they don't need to.
So yeah, basically now everything. So now basically Microsoft and ZeniMax will be collaborating now. So you have Halo and Gears of War mixing up with Doom and Quake and Prey. We'll see how everything will go. And for the first time in such a long time, Obsidian and Bethesda is under the same roof again.
That is very true.
That is very true, but God knows if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see. But they're under the same roof again.
They are, and I know a lot of people are very hyped for like a New Vegas 2 or something, and you can let me know how wrong I am in the comments, but I don't like Obsidian.
Fallout New Vegas.
Newer
Vegas.
Newest Vegas. They mean well, but I do not like their games, unfortunately. I know
I've never really been a Fallout fan, so I don't know.
Well, no, I've played their other games too, and their way of writing just does not click with me. So having them
interesting. You are the first person that I've heard that say that, actually.
I know I am. I'm in a very large minority, at least publicly, although, they get dropped from a lot of projects for, like, they did Knights of the Old Republic 2, which was universally considered worse than Knights of the Old Republic. They did Dungeon Siege 3, which was incoherent at best. People now really like Fallout New Vegas. When that game came out, it did not go well. And it has been heavily nothing against them. Like that, their Outer Worlds game, I know people really liked. It's just their style is not my style personally.
I don't know if I've played any of their games.
So they made Pillars of Eternity, they made Tyranny, they made, as Lotus just mentioned, Outer Worlds, they made Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They are making Avowed, which was very interesting to see.
I'm very curious what that will be.
They made the Neverwinter series, if I believe, at least a couple of them or so. I don't know. Wasteland, I think also.
I haven't played any of these.
Right.
They are old school RPGs, honestly. They're like isometric, top-down old school RPGs like Divinity, like Diablo, that style. And they also made Grounded, which was completely irrelevant to their style.
And that was that survival game, right?
Yeah, that's that survival game where you're like tiny beings, tiny humans trying to survive against like giant spiders. Well, I mean, the spiders and everything is normal size, but you're just like this tiny. You're very little. And even in their trailers, it was like they I think it was the movie trailers guy from YouTube, you know, the honest trailers.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, from the creators of how was it? From the creators of games
Fallout.
that are nothing like this game. Because it's absolutely out of their style. And
I was gonna say,
they doubled down on that,
anything I ever played from them.
Yeah, and it was really, they really doubled down on that too, and it was really fun to see. So yeah, they basically make old school RPGs generally. And they are really loved by that community. It's like they are regarded as one of the best in that genre. So
yep, for sure.
Right. So yeah,
there's your merger talk.
Yeah, there's your merger talk. I didn't even remember that it happened until Lotus just brought it up before the show, and I was like, yeah, I might as well mention it. And that quick to mention turned into
yeah,
10-minute talk. It's fine. It's quick for our standards. Yeah. A 10-minute discussion is a quick to mention, right?
Yeah, that's a short 2 hours right there. Boom, done.
Exactly. So the other news, obviously, Flames of Ambition, the newest dungeon DLC, released on PC, Mac, and I assume Stadia. I don't even follow Stadia. But we now have access to it, and we've been playing around with it. So 2 new dungeons added. The start of the Gates of Oblivion storyline was given. And the entire champion point system and a lot of the combat things have changed. So we have discussed this in the original, when these news first came out. Obviously we had like a 4-hour Blackwood and Gates of Oblivion episode, but to quickly go over it, basically the new champion point cap is now 3600. According to the calculations, you need 1800 to reach the maximum end game level at the moment. The rest will just be good to have, but the math says, according to like Zynode, Alcast, and all the people, 1800 seems to be the sweet point for being able to do everything in the game, like hard mode, trials, +3s, whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you do more trials than I do, Lotus.
That's what I've been hearing for a lot of things, specifically for DPS, because you need to be able to produce the damage, but also up your mitigation is really the determining factor. So that's about the range of that. Tanks and stuff like that seems like it's a little in flux, where some I'm seeing lower numbers, like you can do basically crazy mitigation at much lower CP, closer to like 1,000 or 1,100. But then other things I've seen, if you're trying to do stuff and have a lot of ability to escape and dodge roll and all that stuff to go along with mitigation, you're going to be wanting to be much higher back, in that range. But 16 to 1800 seems to be the sweet spot for what I've been seeing as well, at least from initial reports.
Yeah. And in my case, at least, I'm at like 1,000 or 1,100, something like that. And I feel like I'm nearing capping on everything I will need in hard mode dungeons and challenge runs. So yeah, it's not too bad. They also reduced the amount of experience you need per champion point for like 20%, I believe. So you are getting a lot more champion points a lot faster compared to before. So one thing that is a huge difference is, instead of 9 different skill trees in champion points, we now have only 3. We have utility, which is, I forgot the name. It's all crafting and whatever, something related. We have the warfare, which is your magicka, stamina, your DPS, your healing done, your damage done, all those stuff. And you have fitness, which is all about staying alive. So it's now separated into these only 3 perk categories, and they've made so that there are passive perks and active perks, and you only have 4 active perk slots per your skill tree. So 1 for the crafting part, 4 for the crafting part, 4 for the warfare, and 4 for the fitness, so on and so forth. It's a very in-depth change, is what I'm getting at, basically. So it's without video and without like actually being in the game and showing things around. It is very difficult to explain, especially on audio. So long story short, it's a very massive change. So you should definitely go check it out. If you're on console, is it going to be on Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday.
So it's going to be on, check it out on Tuesday, or if you're on PC, Mac, log in, check it out, mess around with it. It's really not super bad in terms of the CP that you need.
It sounds also more complicated than it is.
Yes.
Simply because you have so many options now, whereas you did not before. But as you get the hang of it, it makes sense as you mess around with it. And it seems very user-friendly, at least from what I've seen so far. The problem is, like anything, change takes some time to adjust. And this is a big change to a system that we have had for a long time that needed a revamp. And for the next, I think it's 2 weeks, well, maybe a week now. No, I think it's 2 weeks from when console drops. Either way, for the time being, respecs are free. So screw around with it as much as you want, because it doesn't cost you anything to change anything at the moment. Like, you can just run amok with your CP and just do stuff how you want.
At least for PC, until 16th, respecing skill lines, morphs, and your CP, whatever, all those stuff is free. I guess they'll redo the event for consoles on its own.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works now that I'm thinking of it. The other, I think it might just be 2 weeks from when you get the patch is how it originally worked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The other thing that is worth noting, because I saw some less than pleased people online about it, and I guess they had mentioned it. Honestly, I didn't see it. It's not the end of the world. But when you log in, apparently it removes all of your skill points and puts them into your inventory.
So, yes, all of your passives, all of your skills, all of your champion points, everything will be reset.
Right.
So you will have to go into every single character that you have, reallocate your skill points, reallocate your champion points, which is what I've seen a lot of people are frustrated with. So in my case, it's not a problem, because I only play on like 2 characters. One doesn't even use champion points, because in Battlegrounds there are no champion points. So I only had to do this once. I only had to go into my Dragon Knight, assign my skills that I've been using for the last 6 years anyway, assign my champion points, and I was done with it. So if you're on consoles, you still have time. Take note, if you're not sure, take note of your skills, of your morphs, because they're gonna be gone. And I can see how this can be frustrating for people who have like maxed out characters, like 18 characters, or even 36 characters on 2 accounts. So, yeah.
So
be like me, play only single character, easy.
There it is. Or 2 in my case. Because Arkaniir. The what do you call it? So one thing that was suggested to me, because when I heard people talking about that, I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't realize that, but you know, it is what it is. It actually might have been Pylon who suggested this to me, but they were like, just screenshot your skills page And there you go. Like, I guess there's an add-on for PC. Had you downloaded that add-on, is what I see in chat.
Everyone found out about that add-on after the fact.
After the,
it was like, well, didn't you say this earlier? Now it's not, and now it's useless.
Yeah. So there's that, which I was like, okay, cool. I kind of know what I have anyways on any of the characters I use. But yeah, I'm just going to take a screenshot of what I have for my morphs and stuff. Easy enough. But people have said that there's some readjusting going on. The other thing is, doesn't this also correct that long-standing werewolf problem where people lost skill points in the werewolf tree? I think that's also part of the reason this is done, because it's like, okay, werewolf fixed, but these skill points aren't coming back. Here are all of your skill points back so that it's corrected. I think that has something to do with it as well, but don't quote me on that. Unless I'm right, then you can quote me. If I'm wrong, it was.
But yeah, I'm really liking the new system because it gives, for the first time in a long time, as a tank in ESO, because nothing really ever changes for tanks in ESO. It hasn't since 2015. It gave me something to actually work for, which is get more champion points. So for the first time in a long time, I'm actually logging into my main character, do a random normal dungeon, random battleground, go to another character, do random normal dungeon, random battleground, go to another character, random normal. So for the first time, I'm actually working towards something. I'm progressing, I'm logging in every day, I'm doing stuff, I'm streaming more ESO because I got something to do. So I'm really, really, really happy that I got something to work towards, other than just farming sets. Really,
yeah. I was gonna say, and now there's some definitely set change up coming as well to tanking. I mean, I know you don't do a lot of trial stuff necessarily, but like the fact that I won't generally be wearing Alkosh in trials is like. Well, I've literally never had that, so I don't even have a good comparison. So I had never done trials before the Love Lorecast, really. So it was kind of like, okay, I get, great. I don't have just one set I use all the time because of the way the CP is going to be distributed on DPS and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see some changes coming all around.
Yep.
And it's been fun to play with. I really like the crafting branch. Like the bonus furnishing plans one is really, really nice to have. And then as far as healing and content, now I don't have as much CP as you do, Ark. I think I'm sitting at like 870 or somewhere in that ballpark. And I still feel fine. I didn't actually look at logs or anything, so I can't really compare numbers. But whenever I was in content, things just felt fine. So I didn't really have any complaints, even though I'm under that CP target that they say you need to have to be the equivalent of 810. I didn't really notice that much of a difference. So yeah, I'm happy overall with the changes.
I think as tanks and healers, maybe it's different for trials, but like from what I saw, I'm already, because as I mentioned, you only have 4 slots per constellation. I'm already maxed out on it. And
right.
If I had more points, I could get a little bit more resources on warfare and some armor on fitness, but that's about it. Anything else, I won't be able to slot anyway, because I don't have enough, like I only have 4 slots to activate perks. So, I mean, it would allow me to change certain things based on the fight. That would be a good option to have. So like if it's a fight that requires me to dodge roll more, I would slot, the dodge roll reduction and things like that. If I'm going to be stationary most of the time, if I know I'm going to be just getting punched in the face while not moving at all in that specific fight, I would just, replace the bonuses there. So in that regard, it would be nice to have more CP. But yeah, as a tank, around 1,000 to 1,100, you are all good for, at least it looks like, hard mode dungeons. Again, for trials, not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would squeeze more points in, as I said, because I would get some, like a 1,500 more magicka and stamina. That's for sure. That's one thing I would get. And I would get about 1,500 more physical resistance. Everything else requires an extra slot to put it in, which I don't have. So
Right.
Well, something that I also did is whenever I was playing, like I just quickly slotted things that I thought sounded good, but then realized at the end that I ended up with way too much health on my healer. So I'm used to running like 17k health. I'm at like 23k after food. And it's like, wow, I'm not going to die as much anymore. This is great. And it's like, I might just leave it like this. This is nice.
Yeah, I realized you can get a lot of health, and my PvP
base
tanks
level
can
health
already
has
go up
bumped
to
up.
like 50k health. So
Right.
if I have even more health,
yeah, because you get the flat 2,000 hit point bonus that's just built into characters now. So you're gonna have
yeah, I was reaching 50k health before that.
Right. So yeah, all the health.
I'm gonna go up to like 60k health without the Necromancer ultimate. I'm gonna reach 100k. I'm gonna see that 100k, and I'm gonna stack damage shields, which should, I don't know, I'm gonna run around with 200k health, I guess.
That's hilarious.
I've actually been thinking about some interesting builds for tanking, especially because in the fitness constellation, there are a lot of perks that are active only when you are crowd immune, crowd control immune.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about making a full immobile potion based tank build with an Argonian and using potion cooldown reduction enchantments on the jewelry. Just basically be crowd immune at all times and benefit from every single crowd immunity in that thing at all times.
I could see that being a potential strategy for stuff. Like,
so I did a very quick math, and I think you can drop down your potion cooldown to 26 seconds.
That sounds about right.
And you can get about 14 seconds of crowd control immunity from an immobile potion with the new perks. So that's only like a 10-12 seconds downtime. And you are always crowd immune on top of having all those perks from your champion points.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea for a build.
I don't know. It probably won't do anything in PvE, but in PvP,
yeah. Right.
It could be a lot of fun. I don't know.
And that's also worth mentioning. The no proc meta is continuing until Q3.
Oh yes, yeah.
Also, us on console, we don't get the cool double AP that you all get on PC, but yeah, we're also getting the no proc meta for Cyrodiil, so I'll be finding out how I like it myself soon enough, apparently.
I still haven't tried it. Yeah, I still haven't gone into Cyrodiil because I need to get sets. I don't have sets.
My brain was Swiss cheese after the Mid-Year Mayhem event, so I haven't really done much PvP.
Yeah, I still do battle. I like battlegrounds. I developed a, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome or something, I guess, with battlegrounds after hating them for so long, but still doing them for that stupid shield. I now enjoy battlegrounds.
They broke you. They broke you so that now you like it.
I was very against the idea of 3-way small-scale PvP, and I still am, but I also enjoyed it at the same time. I really want, I was talking about this on the stream earlier. I want a 6 versus 6 2-way small-scale PvP, not this triangle thing.
Yeah, that would be interesting, because that is a mixed bag of how that whole works, especially since it turns into a smash fest usually on just they're in last, play to not lose, pound them down harder so that it's
like you play to sabotage, not to win in battlegrounds.
Yes.
That's the most effective strategy to get your extra experience and your bonus items and everything like that. You don't play to win. You let one team win while making sure the other team doesn't surpass you.
Correct.
And the other team, and make sure that the other team, the winning team, wins as fast as possible, so the game doesn't last 15 minutes and is over in like 3 minutes, so you can start a new one and repeat this. That way you get the most experience, most alliance points, and most items from Battlegrounds, which is not a good design.
Not good. That's not good.
But it definitely works. Like, say it's Chaos Ball, right? Get the ball at the beginning, get to like 50 points, give the ball to the other team, one of the teams, whichever looks like the best one, and just sabotage the other team, make sure they stay on point 0.
Yeah, it's
like the easiest, most fastest solution.
It's not that I don't like Battlegrounds necessarily. It's just there's so many things about them that I'm kind of like, ugh. And more so, I have an issue with just like when people talk about Cyrodiil performance, I guess my tolerance for it is usually like, well, there's 100 people here and there's 20 siege weapons and they're sieging us, and then here come the bombers and everything's blasting everything and there's people collapsing walls and everything. I get it. Like a little bit of lag doesn't really bother me. When there's only 12 people and my game is running like trash, I have like zero tolerance for Battlegrounds. And unfortunately, I don't know what the deal is. My performance in Battlegrounds is worse than my performance in Cyrodiil. Like, I know people have issues with Cyrodiil. My Cyrodiil really doesn't run that bad. My Battlegrounds, people are like gliding backwards and skills don't even go off. And I read my feed and there's like 45 heavy attacks. I'm like, it was 2 seconds. How much of the game did I not just see? Like, what am I playing?
That's backwards.
I know. And that's, I think, one of my big reasons why I have a rough time playing Battlegrounds. For whatever reason, I have shockingly bad performance in Battlegrounds as opposed to, and that's why it's like, I feel sometimes that I'm just like, am I playing a different game? Like when people are talking about like, oh, Cyrodiil's such a mess. It was like, I'm in like 3-way keep fights for Emperorship. And it's like, my frame rate's still like 20. It's normally 30. Like that's not even that big of a dip. It's like, whatever. Whereas in Battlegrounds, it's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. People just rubber band all over the place and then the match just ends. I'm like, I don't even know what happens half the time. I'm like, okay.
I can't put a logic to that. That's...
Yep. So that's why usually I don't have an awful lot to say about Battlegrounds, because I'm like, half the time I don't even know what's happening. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on.
I don't play PvP that much, and I don't generally do Battlegrounds just because I'm not a PvP person. But is it that bad on PC too, or is this just a console thing?
My Battlegrounds are generally super smooth. The only issue every now and then is that like I get crowd controlled, stunned, or immobilized or whatever without the actual animation, so I don't realize that I am crowd. So I'm like, why can't I move? And then I dodge roll, and it's like I break free, but my character just stands there as it usually does. So I don't notice it for like a couple seconds that I am stunned. But other than that, my Battlegrounds performance is quite well.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's more unique to the console or my group is just, we have universally like funky connections sometimes. But some of the situations I occasionally do talk to Bob Tashinsky and Dog Bark from the Red Diamond Courier about it, where I actually asked them once, and I think I sent them the clip. I was like, so you get a CC immunity after like breaking free, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, that works in Battlegrounds, right? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay. And the video is literally me being Talon, break free, Talon, break free, Talon, break free, Talon, break free. I'm out of resources at this point. Talon, I still can't move because I've been Talon so many times. They come over, they uppercut me, and my like death recap is like Talons times 4. And then in that one uppercut, I was hit by 7 dizzying swings to die. I'm like,
what?
Yeah,
that's actually killed me. I'm like, so when
That
those
doesn't sound
and
right.
it's not always the case, but it's enough that it deters me from that mode. So it's like, honestly, if 25% of my games are that bad, I'm not going to keep playing it. So, which
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's that high, but it happens enough that I'm kind of like, yeah, if I'm going to play PvP, I'm going to play Cyrodiil.
Yeah, see, that's me in Cyrodiil, especially in
Yeah,
crowd
which is
fights.
so
Like during
funny.
prime time, if I'm in Cyrodiil during prime time, I press silver leash to pull someone.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens. And I'm like, I'm trying to heal,
not-
nothing happens. I'm trying to block, nothing happens. I'm trying to shield back, nothing happens. It's like, I can't fire any skills during primetime Cyrodiil. But in Battlegrounds, I have the exact opposite experience that you have. Everything is a lot smoother. So I don't know.
Who knows? But that's why rarely do you ever hear me talking much about Battlegrounds. I just flounder around like an idiot in there every now and then. If I have a group of people, because now that you can do group queues, I don't care if I'm getting obliterated. If there's 4 of us getting obliterated together, we can be entertained by it. So I don't care. When it was like solo queues, it's like, okay, if I'm not trying to specifically get an achievement or something, I'm literally not going to play this. Like, this is just not a mode for me.
Yeah, I think eventually in my time farming that shield, I got a bit good. Like, I got good enough to enjoy Battlegrounds because my win rate is. I wish we had a way to actually see our win rates and things like that.
You're like win. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's very high right now with my Warden especially, because like I annoy the hell out of the opposing team. I keep my team alive as long as they don't run away from me, which is, God, I hate that. Half my Battlegrounds experience is like, don't run away from me so I can heal you. I'm just chasing my own team, wasting stamina, sprinting behind them, just so I can get in range enough to just drop a heal on them. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Folks, don't run away from your tanks in PvP. Please.
Or your healers. Having a heal bot in any game mode is so great when it's in PvP. It's amazing.
If you notice a teammate can heal, stay around them. Make it easier for them. Don't make them chase you around.
This goes in PvE too.
Yeah.
If you're able to stand near your healer, it's great if you do so.
I mean, in PvE, at least it's like they are fighting a boss, so they don't run away off the field. But in Battlegrounds...
Oh, that's where you're wrong.
Man.
Where do they run?
Cragworn pugs will teach you dark things.
As far as they can.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
As far as they can, as quickly as they can.
It's like, you ran off the Etherean archive. What do you want me to do about that?
Okay, that's... Yeah. Well, that's why I don't do trials. I just do dungeons. It's fine. Limited space, they can't go anywhere.
No, this was like what he needed to do, so it wasn't his fault. But like, you still have situations where you can easily just run away from your healer. So like Moongrave Fane hard mode, I'm shackled to one side. Kiz takes off because he has to.
Oh, that's a mechanic
something.
though. That's just like Finnegan being Finnegan. He's like, you know what I'm gonna do?
In Pugs,
I'm gonna put the tank in one corner, the healer in one corner, and get the DPS dead. And they can't help it.
In Pugs, though, I don't pug as much these days, but whenever I did it all the time, it was constantly, okay, where on earth is this one person? I remember being in Depths of Malatar at the hide and seek boss, and this one DPS just kept taking off by himself. And it's like, I'm not going to come chase you down and find you around all these pillars to cast a heal on you, because these two are right here with me where they're supposed to be. And so you're just going to die, and it's your own fault at that point. And
that makes sense.
So yeah. It happens. I'm sure it's like not
yeah, when
as
you mentioned the
common
hide
as it
and
is
seek
on
bots
PvP,
in Depths of
but-
Malatar, yeah, my penny dropped. Yeah, that's an annoying one. But yeah, it's like, I mean, say we are in a group fight in Battlegrounds and one of the dude gets low health and he just runs away from our team. Like, he could run left, he could run right. We are on the left, our team. the right is empty. No one's on the right, and he chooses to go right. Like, well, come to us. Come to your friends.
Yeah, situational awareness is very undervalued when it should not be.
See, whenever the rare occasions I end up in Battlegrounds, I panic the second I start to die and just haul ass in a random direction so I can try to heal myself. So I'm this person, but it's because I'm intending to heal myself. It's like if I can just get some space between me and these other guys, and I don't function with maps well, so I don't even know where my team is half the time if I'm not actively with them. Like if they left me somewhere, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to be over here
imagine
now.
You and I are fighting together side by side against the enemy, and then you just start running away when we were already close to each other. That's the problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that intentionally. Like I said, I do dumb things whenever I start to panic. But no, I would like to think that I would stay near my teammates unless I thought I was doing something helpful. Yeah.
But yeah, so what were we talking about? We were talking about the new CP system, and here we are. But
it was the other after the CP thing. It was the Q3 for proc sets.
Right,
that
zero deal proc sets.
Yeah. Because I was going to say that's also news related.
So another thing that changed also regarding the entire combat is the armor weight. Heavy armor, light armor, medium armor. They now have bonuses and penalties. I only know some of the heavy armor ones. I didn't memorize them because that's not going to change my playstyle much. But for example, heavy armor increases the amount of damage I can block, I think. Increases my dodge roll cost by a lot.
Because it weighs so much.
Increases my defense against martial attacks, like physical attacks. But it also increases the damage I take from magical attacks. So it's like there is this bonus and penalty things that came to the different armor types.
Yep.
So, yeah. All those are now also a thing. So a lot of things regarding combat has changed. So definitely go check it out, see it for yourself, or be patient until Tuesday if you're on console.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that is new that we haven't rambled on
other than the dungeons?
Well, dungeons, we can get into our tales because that's like we got two new ones.
Yeah. Along with all these quality of life things and system changes, there's also a DLC.
So one really fast thing is the ability to port to the outside of your house is just amazing. Oh, yes. I love it so much.
Amazing.
I'm so glad they added that because I would just constantly pay for teleports because I just didn't want to go through the extra load screen of walking outside my house.
Yep. That is a great quality of life feature.
Mm-hmm.
I never used my house to get somewhere because all my houses are like in irrelevant locations.
That's literally the basis of where I bought my houses.
Yeah, no.
Like back when the game started and housing became a thing, I bought Quantum Mineralia just so we could immediately port there and walk down the hill to get our pledges. That was the reason I dropped. I was like, I'm not paying to travel back here every time. I'm buying this.
Yeah, I'm probably paying like 15k gold per day to just using Way Shrines impatiently. Which now is reduced by a lot because there is a new perk in the new champion points that reduces your Way Shrine cost by a lot. So my impatience is being rewarded. Yes. I like it when this happens. Yeah, I think that's about it. Which sort of brings us to our tales. Now, because Lotus has a lot of tales of pain and suffering, and he didn't get to play with Flames of Oblivion all that much, do the dungeons and things like that. And because I only did the dungeons on normal, and all I've been doing is Battlegrounds and random daily normal dungeons, I'm gonna let Pixie go first, but before that, I want to mention something. This is a very important announcement.
Oh no.
This changes the course of everything since Greymore, folks.
Oh.
I finally got my damn shield. I have the shield. The Horned Dragon shield is now mine. I'm carrying it with pride. It only took like 7 freaking months, but it finally happened. I am free. The curse is removed. Or the shield is cursed. We haven't yet decided.
Yeah.
Either or. But I finally have the shield. I'm rocking it. It's done. It's done. I feel like when Frodo finally threw the ring in the friggin' Mount of Doom. It's done. I want a Samwise Gamgee just come up to me and just say, "It's done. It's finished."
Just says potatoes and throws you in the volcano next.
Well,
now,
we'll see.
I have a question. Does your life feel a little bit like empty now that you don't have that shield to look for?
Honestly, I hated that shield for so long while loving it so much. I don't even know. It's
disillusion.
It's a blank emotion at this point. I just know that I no longer am an incarnation of Zahn. I am now back to who I am. Not waking up in the middle of the night screaming, "My shield!"
I figured it out. So you got the shield right after the CP changes and the cap increased. So before you had something to work towards to get you to log into the game, which was the shield. Like you had to get your shield. Now you don't need the shield to log into the game. So they gave it to you because now you get to work on CP instead.
There it is.
Figured it out.
I knew it.
Yeah, so Zos really is listening, and they're focusing all design around just giving Ark an incentive.
Oh, man.
The rest of us are just here for the ride.
They built this game for me? Oh, man. Mike Finnegan has been working to make my life hell specifically? Oh, man.
You should feel so special. So...
Oh, man. But yeah, so finally have the shield. So the tail of the shield is over. That's done and done. And we'll see what next curse that I will get inflicted with in the future days. So Pixie, you have some Flames of Ambition tales without going into the spoilers of the mechanics specifically. Because I know that people want to do all of these things blindly. Go ahead, take it away.
All right. Well, so on Monday, whenever it launched, I actually ran the new dungeons completely blind with Lego, Braun, and Bard. We replaced Kiz because Kiz did it on PTS, so he couldn't do the blind run. So Braun stepped in for Kiz. And immediately we were hit by just how much fun the dungeons were. So we started with the Cauldron first. And usually like the Daedric, like especially Deadlands like motif isn't so much my thing, but I was actually surprised with how visually stunning the Cauldron was. And I was actually really happy with the level design and all. And that was something that I was just really shocked by because it's not usually the thing that I would look for. I don't really care for the Daedric stuff as much, at least not like Molag Bal and Mehrunes Dagon stuff. I'm more like Meridia and her colored rooms and all the pretty stuff. But it was really, really good. And I'm trying to do this in a non-spoilery way. Basically, I was just kind of surprised in a very good way with the direction they took a lot of mechanics and a lot of the way they did the bosses. And it just felt really, really fun the entire time. You know, you saw some things that you don't really see in other dungeons, and I just had a blast. So we got to the first hard mode, and we got to the first final boss at the end of the Cauldron, the big red dude. We've seen him in the promo art. So we were like, let's go for the hard mode. You know, we clear this dungeon pretty quick, and we wanted to give the hard modes at least a couple shots. We got him within the first couple of pulls down to 15%. So we're like, oh, wow. Because this was launch day, so we had no idea what the mechanics were. And we were like shocked. But at the same time, it wasn't like, so it was easier than a lot of them. But at the same time, it was just, we were having so much fun while we were doing it. It wasn't one of those hard modes that's so frustrating you want to throw things like Castle Thorn, you know, because it lasts forever. Yeah, that one too. Exactly. So it was just really fun the whole time. It was just a really good experience, even though it was like a lower difficulty level than, say, Stone Garden or something. So we didn't get the hard mode there. We ran out of time for that dungeon because we did want to see the other one before we all needed to go to bed. So we just cleared it just on regular vet, and then we switched to Black Drake Villa. And that one is a very different kind of style, and it was really, really cool. It does remind me a lot of Moonhunter Keep, the way it's kind of laid out. It's like Moonhunter Keep and Castle Thorn, how it's like you're inside and outside of this building, and I just really, really liked
I know what you
it.
mean. Okay.
Yeah, just the level design, since I can't go into like spoilery mechanics.
Yeah.
So this is one that's kind of like Unhallowed Grave, where there's little secrets and stuff, which our first run through, like we kind of like stumbled across something, but we didn't know what to do with it, and we were confused. So we just kind of were like, oh, whatever, we'll just keep on going. We didn't get any of the hard modes the first night. We didn't really have the time to put into them and make sure we could finish the dungeon, because we didn't realize that if you don't do the optional things, it's a bit short. So we actually just cleared that one on regular vet as well. But that's another one where, especially like towards the end of the dungeon, you just see things. It's like, whoa, this is really cool. And I was really excited whenever I saw these things that I can't talk about yet, but we'll talk about later. I know this is a whole lot of, wow, I had fun, but yeah. So
just trust me, I enjoyed myself.
And from what I've heard from everybody else, people seem to be just enjoying the mechanics a whole lot. Everybody I've talked to has had nothing but positive things.
Yeah, I've heard that almost universally, even from some of my guilds that I play with, and they tend to not be super like positive. It's just like, I need to min-max and smash through this as fast as possible. Several of them were just like, dude, these new dungeons are just fun.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, that's great to hear. So,
and Black Drake was harder than the Cauldron, but it still feels, it's nothing like Stone Garden. So it's not something you're gonna bash your head against for hours, except for the. So to kind of go on bash your head against something for hours, that didn't actually happen to us this week. It was kind of strange. So we had our prog night, and I think it was the day before Arc, you were streaming, and I forget who it was in chat. It was like, oh, are you guys going to race for Flames of Ambition hard mode? And I was like, yeah, I'll do the Cauldron. And so I was just counting on trying to get the Cauldron, like, really, really quick after that. So we went into the Cauldron, and the first part of the dungeon went by really quick, and we had Kiz back with us at this point, because now we're not doing a blind run, we know the mechanics. So we activate the hard mode, mess up the first time, but then we got that hard mode clear the second pull.
That's
now
sweet.
I really want to try it now. Like, I'm looking forward to Monday, where we usually do our prog night, and I'm really curious how it is.
It was, I mean, so to be fair, I had seen the mechanics on vet before that, because I was running it with Braun and all of them. But
sure, but I mean, going through once is fine. You got your vet clear, and then you go back if you want. Just like, okay, well, here's my hard mode pull. It's like,
yeah, that's a very natural way of doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of
we did the hard mode. Well, we tried the hard mode a few times.
Sure.
Yeah, but we didn't know the mechanics, so that didn't count. Is what I'm going with. We had no idea what we were doing for a little bit. We knew at the time we cleared it, so at that point we already knew what we were doing. But like the first few times, whenever we did it night one blind, we're like, we're gonna just try the hard mode a few times, see if we can just figure it out. And we got him down to 15% without knowing what we were doing. Really.
Right.
So we're like, okay, well, that was 41 minutes, and we were going to play for 2 hours. So let's just go and see about this other dungeon. Let's do Black Drake. So we were going to do all the hard modes and all the secrets was the goal. And we got the first 2 hard modes, we got the secret bosses, we get to the end, we got the hard mode on the final boss in 3 pulls.
Oh, there you go.
And then there's a final secret, and we didn't get that hard mode. So that was the only one we couldn't do. And that one was just insane. I don't even know.
How many bosses do you fight in Black Drake Villa then?
7?
Do all of them have hard modes?
Just 4 of them.
Okay. I was
It's 6 or 7.
Is that like
I think there's
7 hard modes in that fight, in that dungeon?
So the dungeon is super short if you don't do any of the secrets. So if you do the secrets, I think there's 3 or 4 secret bosses, but there's 3 like main bosses you have to go through, if I'm remembering right.
Honestly,
Lego
lengthwise,
says
I
7.
really enjoy them. They're not like, you know, Imperial City Prison or City of Ash or like Moongrave Fane, where it's just running and running and running and trash pools and trash pools. They're pretty decently distanced. Well, I don't know. They are good length, duration, time.
Yeah,
because
you get the idea.
Thinking about it, Unhallowed has like, you've got the 3 secret bosses, plus you have the 4 normal bosses, so it's 7 there. So you're probably right.
Like
That's
that.
probably a good analogy, except this has the added factor of the 3 hard modes, which is based on the thing from Stone Garden or any of the new trials. So it's like, that's... I like their new format of messing around with stuff like that.
Like one dungeon with only 1 hard mode and 1 dungeon with multiple hard modes.
I can't remember if it was 3 pulls or 4 pulls. I'll have to look back. I messaged Lotus as soon as it happened, as soon as we cleared it on that last boss. It was a long night at that point. But yeah, in about 2 hours, we got all the hard modes cleared except for the final secret boss in Black Drake. So we still have something to work for on that dungeon. But my God, it was fun. I just had an absolute blast the entire time. And it was nice to not like struggle at one for an insane amount of time, but it was just really fun to like actually get the things, and the mechanics were really enjoyable. So I wasn't getting angry or anything whenever we were failing at them the first try in Cauldron. And then outside of that, the new house that I've been waiting for launched. The Stone Eagle Eyrie in Markarth, the big Markarth house. So I know that a lot of people want more medium houses or smaller houses. I didn't have a large house like at all. So I wanted to have at least 1 large house. So I was really, really excited for this one in particular because I love Markarth and think it's a really cool area. So went ahead and bought that house, and I started furnishing it yesterday, actually. And I'm now realizing how long it's going to take to furnish a large house. But I started working on this little area that's going to have like this planning table that has these maps all over the place. And then I made Bard, Kiz, and Lego a bedroom. And also, Bard and Kiz get bunk beds, and I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. Lego has his own bed.
No, I'm still questioning that you accepted Kiz into your precious house. I mean, that feels risky.
It was a bribe. It was a bribe. Whenever you were bribing them with crown crates, I said, no, clear this thing, and I'll dedicate a room in my house to you whenever I get it.
Oh, really?
Oh, all right.
Oh, man, I got them a room. Because I was gonna give them the crates anyway, so that... Okay, this worked out better than expected. I just spent some crowns, and now Kiz has access to Pixie's precious Markarth house.
Oh, he doesn't get to decorate it. He just gets to live in it. He has a bed there.
I don't know. I wouldn't give Kiz a bed in my house.
Right, but wait till he gets into the cabinet
he
and
sleeps
starts
like
munching on
minus
things.
-2 hours. He lives 26-hour days. I don't trust it.
I mean, I guess, like, if Kiz doesn't sleep, why do I have a bed there for him? But I thought it was a nice gesture.
That is also a very good point. That is also a very good point.
the seating area where like the plans are all laid out. That's supposed to be like our planning area, like as if we have a plan whenever we go into these things. And then I have like the busts arranged over this like. Now this was the part that I enjoyed the most. I made a little pillow nook, and it's like super cozy and adorable. And I went on this quest for furnishings, just trying to get pillows, because it's like, okay, it's like a half cylinder, like indent into the wall, and there's a shelf up above it, and then there's like a bench looking thing that's like a half circle, and it's like you put a bunch of pillows there, and that's a really cool like little reading spot or something that I would love in a house in real life. And so I just kind of rolled with that while I was trying to figure out if I could make pillows, which I was convinced that I had learned at least one pillow crafting style thing. Apparently I had not. And so Ninja Monkey was kind enough to gift me a whole bunch of pillows because he could see how frazzled I was by the fact that I had no pillows and could not get pillows very easily. So after I got my pillow nook all arranged, I was happy with that. I started making a bar like off in the corner there because it's like a really big room. So there was like this one section by these stairs. It was going to be just perfect for like a little, I had the innkeeper house guest and I put her over there and she was going to be our tavern lady. And I was like, I need to go build a bar. So I go back to the woodworking station and I can't build a bar. I was like, I learned so many of these furnishing things and I cannot make a bar and I cannot make pillows. And I feel like this is super useless. And so I go on TTC and I start trying to figure out where I can buy. I wanted the long Nord counter. And I just wanted to buy the recipes so that way I could make more of them because I needed it in my other house too. So yeah, I was going to every single guild trader there. And nobody had it, even though it said they had it. There was one that was like reported 40 minutes ago. I'm like, how popular is this freaking counter? And how rare is it? It's just a blue counter. I don't understand. And so then I was looking for another counter, same thing. It's like, is everybody making bars tonight specifically? And I'm just, I started like bribing chat. Listen, if any one of you has this furnishing plan, the highest one on this list, I'll go up 1K or whatever. And I think the most expensive one listed was like 5K because it's actually really cheap if you can find it. I was like, I'll give you 6K. Just give me the plan. I need this bar. And then somebody gifted me a couple of the bars so I could make it. Like not the furnishing plan, but the bar itself.
But
so
the actual pieces, bother.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I can work with this. And so that was, I also just have a difficult, so in housing, like everything has to be perfectly centered whenever I want it centered, and everything has to be aligned perfectly. And I will spend a stupid amount of time making that happen, just moving it like back and forth. And so I don't know how anybody can actually watch me do it because I feel like anybody would be getting annoyed with me, but whatever. I had fun and I have a pillow nook now, so I'm a happy camper. And
I should log into NA and check it out once you finish it.
It's gonna take me a while.
Kiz's room just because. Turn off his lights.
Turn off his lights. Jinx.
Just drop a candle on his bed. Oops.
I'll give you decorator privileges so you can prank Kiz.
Okay, I like this idea.
That would be dangerous. No, I immediately regret saying
you said
that.
It. What has been said cannot be unsaid.
Well, it's not like this is being recorded or anything.
But yeah, that's my tales.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to getting into the mechanic details of the dungeons together as well. But yeah, we are gonna do that a couple weeks at least later. Give everybody a chance to do it blind if they want to, and then we are gonna probably discuss mechanics, compare mechanics, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I just did them on normal, but it's just aesthetically. They are very beautiful dungeons and mechanics. Like, even the mechanics were pleasing, you know. It was, as Pixie said, very fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing them on Veteran on Monday. And that brings us to my favorite part of the tales. Lotus. I see that in your show notes you cursed a lot, which means we are in for a treat once again. So
all right,
take it away.
So again, since most people like listening to failure, as we get messages all about, as well as you enjoy it, I'll start with what success I did have since last show, which shout out to my well, it's not even my trial team, it's just one of the guilds I'm in. We had kind of formed a Dramothra Destroyer team, which for anybody who doesn't know, it's all the achievements, well, almost all the achievements in Vet Mauve Lorecast. And since last show, I actually got my Dramothra Destroyer title. We finished up the hard mode. We got Fang focused and all the other stuff along the way. So huge shout out to everybody that joined me for that. And that off. So I got to off tank that hard mode, which I really like. Mauve Lorecast, or Kind Zagus are kind of like a battle for my favorite trial. And that hard mode is just, it's very busy. And for the off tank, there's just so much crap flying at you. And you have to make sure things are in position and make sure to get your bashes and make sure if people are dying, you're pulling in the cats and doing all these things, and you got to keep your buffs up and you got to keep your debuffs up. And it's just, there's so much going on. When I watched my own VOD, I was like, what am I even doing half the time? Because I'm animation canceling other things to chain in things and range taunt other things. And I was just like, wow, this is a very busy thing to watch when I'm not doing it. So,
okay,
but
it's settled. I never want to tank hard mode.
Just main tank it. It's everybody always jokes that being off tank is just, so I was placed as off tank because the main tank said she apologizes, but she doesn't want to do that. Knock yourself out. I was like, that's quite a vote of confidence at the start of it. And it was very interesting. But yeah, we got that place down to a science in the end. So still definitely up there as one of my favorite two trials. I know everybody gets hung up on twins because that's the pug killer. Yeah, that's the pug killer.
That's not even a pug. That's just like
killer.
Straight up group killer. That's not just pug killer.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and when you start working for your Dramothra Destroyer, it kind of all clicks when you get the speed run in there and you've done all of Mauve Lorecast in less than 40 minutes. Like, you don't have time to blow up on twins. You need to just know what you're doing eventually.
During twins. Okay, question. Is it possible that, so, they go to the separate parts of the room, the ground changes color, and then you get your color assigned as the tank, and then you swap bosses again, and everything restarts. So the last time we ran it, everything was going all right, and I was at the yellow boss with the with the other DPS and the healer, and I got the wrong color on my head. I got the boss on the other end of the rooms, so I just stopped there and I was like, well, what the hell do I do now? So I just stopped. I basically just stopped and just went, okay, now what? And we vibed, obviously, because I was trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
Yeah, so what you want to do, without going into deep, mechanics training in the middle of this, my assumption is you got too far away from your boss too quickly.
No, I was just slapping it with the sword. Close range.
Okay, so you were literally still standing next to your boss and it gave you the wrong head color? So did you blow up everybody else?
No, I was on the left side of the boss and everyone else was on the right side of the boss. So it's like, imagine at a 45-degree angle, So 5 people, 5 of my
Yeah.
5 of the people was on the one side of the boss. I was on the other side of the boss, so I could just sprint and get the other boss switch.
There's the potential logical way that this happened. My assumption is as things flipped colors, you probably lost taunt in the fraction of a second that it was flipping, because it can flip-flop at that point. Like, so if, say you're on your last second and your second drops off, so it's briefly untaunted.
No, but this was this was
even though
right after the room change. Like room split. So not while fighting them, but waiting for new colors to be assigned after everyone's colors got disappeared.
If you didn't have taunt on him while they were picking colors, theoretically you could get the wrong color.
Oh, okay.
So if there's ever a gap in time, that could do it. There are now. Don't get so. Oh, the other possible thing, which it is, I don't know if it's a PC thing or just a console thing. Sometimes, was anybody else dead? Like, do you happen to remember at the time? Like, were any players down?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Because if people are down and there's an odd number of players, the game then is kind of like, well, we can't distribute 6 and 6 because there's 9 people or 11 people or something like that. Sometimes we've gotten very hilarious surprises when the game rolls it. So we always, if that ever happens, we're always like hug the boss. So everybody just squishes in and hopes for the best. But we have had some funny ones where like somebody won't get a head color at all. And they'll be like, oh, I don't have a head color. And then everybody explodes. They're like, oh, I apparently had the other head color. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like I was just hitting the yellow boss, waiting to get the color, so I could just go swap the boss with the other tank.
Yeah,
ranged on it.
My guess would be
opposite color, and I was like,
yeah, that it's gotta. My guess would be,
what do I do now?
It's that brief period where it was like something like a taunt dropped briefly while you were switching, or something like that. Would just be my guess.
Yeah,
without seeing it myself. But yeah, and I mean, we had plenty of funny things. You know, when you're doing a prog in that place, you'll get some funny things with weird numbers of players being up and all that stuff. But yeah, so that was fully completed. The other thing that I managed to do, we had to shift up who we were running with for our dungeon prog just because some real life stuff ended up happening. And we actually got the Unhallowed Grave Trifecta last week, which was pretty sweet because it took us a few more pulls than the Ice Reach one, but we still did it in, I think, 7 tries, something like that, 7 or 8 tries. I don't know. And we kept dying to like stupid crap.
I was about to say, like in Unhallowed Grave, looking back at the amount of times I just missed my grapple and fell to my death.
We had two of our trifectas get ruined because it was like, nope, and they're just like off the cliff. One of them was exceptionally funny because it wasn't even a situation where I missed. Like one of us missed the grapple. When we were going to one of the secret bosses, I jumped and I slid down the rock and I was like, oh, and I like stopped right at the edge. I was like, I made it. And then I just see one of my other DPSs just go, damn it. And they just missed the rock entirely and plunged into the pit. I was like, oh, I guess it didn't matter.
Does Unhallowed Grave Trifecta require you to kill the secret bosses as well?
It does not. And we were considering not doing it at first because we were like, ooh, this is probably going to be a tight squeeze because that last boss has whatever 18 million health or whatever it is.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like 18 million health on hard mode. And we were like, ooh, I wonder if we'll have enough time. But you get the buffs from doing the secret bosses. So we were like, well, we'll be more durable and faster. At least damage output, I guess, if we do that. So let's see how we were. And we were doing the hard mode we had to do it in 30 minutes. We were doing it in like 20 23. So we're like, oh, we can do all these secret bosses. This is fine. Like, so we ended up doing it with all the secret bosses to do ours.
I mean, one of those secret bosses is very risky to do in a no death run. The one where you have to just like grapple back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh yeah, we lost one on that, and it was literally just because of the swing mechanic. Because our healer was just like, "Dear God, no!" Like as soon as he went, he was just like, "Not gonna happen," and he just knew he was done for. But yeah, so we got that done, and then we kind of just started goofing around, getting some other random achievements, and realized we were really just obliterating Depths of Malatar. So we tried to push the trifecta in that. There was that, I was asking for some clarification actually on one of the skills in there, but we had a couple really close ones. We missed our trifecta on there as well. With just over 1 million hit points on the boss. And we had that for whatever, I mean, not for whatever reason. The two DPSs in my group are completely off the rails. So shout out to them for doing an obscene amount of damage. Our healer is super on point and I get punched in the face. So I have the easy job. But we were getting it down. Our best run of Depths of Malatar, I think we did in 22 minutes with the hard mode. So like we had time to spare. One of them we actually wiped when we first jumped into it. We wiped on the hard mode. We're like, oh my God, like what are we doing? We like walked into a wall or something like that. We're like, we're so stupid. So we reboot the thing. We cleared it. And we still got the speed run with 3 minutes to spare. So we were like, okay, so time isn't a factor. It's literally just we need to do this without anybody dying. And that one we did, we were so close and we were not getting execute panic, but we got hit with Decryptify and then meteors dropped on us. And because we had that Decryptify thing on and it was on the healer, so he couldn't heal in time, and it popped 2 people at the same time with the meteor. And we're like, no. And then we immediately cleared it because it was taking so much damage. We're like, oof. So that was a little rough. But yeah, so once we get the new CP, we and we're going to be tackling the new dungeons, we definitely want to jump back in and try that again because we were super, super close. So a little more practice, and hopefully we can grab that one too.
Yeah, I mean, now that you know that mechanic, like that decryptify, whatever it's called. Yeah.
And our healer was like, all right, he's like, what I'm going to do is he's like, basically, he's not going to focus so much on any type of debuffing. He's going to sit on a barrier. I'll run Warhorn, and he's just going to aim to keep everybody's health topped so that the decryptify thing will be able to be blocked through with a shield, which is like, oh, there we go. That's how you address stuff like that. So thank you for everybody who responded to that Twitter post when I was trying to figure out exactly what the coding thing was to decryptify, because I was like, what exactly is this skill? The only other thing, I guess, successful that I did was I DPS'd Vetkind's Aegis earlier so that I could get my Lightning Leaper achievement, which is don't get hit by lightning for Vetkind's Aegis, because, there's like lightning just shocking down all over the place periodically throughout. You just can't get hit by a lightning bolt. That's the thing.
I was gonna say, like, everything is lightning in that dungeon. How are you not it's
the lightning strike. Like somebody can hit you with like if they have a lightning sword, that doesn't count. It's if you're literally struck by lightning, which is super easy when you're not right up in everything's face. When you're a tank, that's literally all you do. So I was just never getting it. So one of my trials guilds actually was just like, oh no, you play safe and be on DPS and we'll just run through. And we did. And the only claim to fame I can say, because I'm a mediocre to bad DPS, is I was super durable. So I got lots and lots of reses if anybody died, because I could just soak the abuse pretty well. But yeah, I got through that, which I was pretty excited about, because I don't think I've ever DPS'd a vet trial because DPS is not my thing. I also made $684,000 while typing the notes, which we were talking about pre-show. Selling off garbage. That was a success. Now into my failure, I guess.
Yes.
One note, which for my achievement hunter friends, there's an achievement in Moongrave Fane called Cubed. Long story short, fuck that achievement. That is ridiculous.
Says the man, just for context, says the guy who has over 4,000 achievement points in ESO and has gone through a lot of achievement hunting abuse throughout his ESO life.
That achievement sucks. So so we tried this for 2 hours. It's worth 5 points.
Oh, God.
We all need to get our heads checked.
Also, correction.
Because,
did I say 4K? 40K.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'm
meant
almost at
40,000.
I'm almost at 42.
So is this worse than cold potato?
Yes. I would rather
wow.
do cold potato with a broken controller while not looking at the screen.
Oh my God.
So what Cubed is, you know the boss where so in Moongrave Fane, there's the boss with the lava geysers. He's like a gargoyle, and he goes invincible, and these little lava, and you have to slide the rocks over him, like the cubes.
Yeah.
And there's some ads that pop up. Cubed is listed as in Moongrave Fane, block 3 geysers within 3 seconds during that fight.
Oh, that's super RNG though.
It sure is.
I don't like that at all.
It sure is. There's 2 blocks. You need to get geysers to line up properly for you. And then the biggest issue, of course, is I like the blocks. It was neat. They're not the most precise things imaginable.
No.
So when you need to be really, really precise, it's unpleasant. Yeah, like I said, 2 hours, and we were like, we have to do something else. I can't take this anymore. Like, we got some where we were starting. I saved some clips. We got one where we did it in 3.123 seconds, according to the video.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is the worst. Like, what is the matter with us? Why are we even trying this anymore? So like, it's awful. It's so bad. So yeah,
Dude,
that was
just
terrible.
Like, and I don't like that at all. Yeah,
it's oh my God. It's just but yes, the RNG, I mean, the amount of time we were just hanging out, just waiting for these things to even be remotely close enough for us to have a chance. We're just like, nothing this phase, and we'd just kill the ads. And then I'd just stand there and we're like, nothing this phase, and then we'd just stand there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, and it just went on and on and on. And anytime we had a half decent shot at it, we'd give it a try and it wouldn't work. That's the other thing, which, as if I haven't really sold everybody on trying to get this achievement enough already. It doesn't pop immediately. It pops upon clear.
Oh no.
So if you screw up, you redo the dungeon.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, dungeon clear? I thought you meant
no.
boss.
Well, the problem is he's the boss before you get to basically the end. So you have to go back through the dungeon in order to get to him.
I get what you mean. Oh,
yeah.
No.
So
that
what so we would do it, and if we thought we were close, we were like, we just got to keep doing it. We just got to keep doing it and then we'll try. And so that was awful. And then one thing that we started being like, wait, we're not dumb for trying this so many times. We're dumb for not reading, which, I mean, it's both. But we realized that it didn't say anything about veteran. And I'm like, what are we doing this on veteran for? What are we, stupid? You can't do it on normal because it doesn't make enough geysers. So even though it doesn't say veteran, it has to be veteran.
No.
Oh God.
So
Beautiful.
we were like, cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so we were like, cool. So we do have to do it on veteran, even though it doesn't say so. So yeah,
Dude,
that broke our soul a little bit.
5 points. Just get a 5 points worth of achievements from housing. Go decorate one of your house. Oh my God.
I have them all. I have every housing achievement in the game. There's none left. I'm down to this crap. This is what I'm doing.
I'm thinking of like an achievement that you can get instead of this for 5 points, but I can't think of anything that you haven't done in the game.
So
go jump off the cliff in Rothgar.
Did it? Got it.
I don't know. Yeah, go suffer.
So that was all of that. That was great. It was real fun for me. I enjoyed that a lot, if you couldn't tell. And then to end things for me, I had I guess short in the grand scheme of things, but I played some Battlespire on Thursday. I had a little stint of time, so I was like, you know what? Let's just play Battlespire. I got like 2 hours. We'll do a quick 2-hour Battlespire stream, which will feel like a month anyways, because it's Battlespire. And I have no idea what is going on in this game. Like, if that wasn't abundantly clear already, I'm somehow more confused than I was before. I'm not getting better. I actually think I'm getting worse at this game. There's a lot of brutal enemies, so I die a lot still. That's fine. Some of my skills are going up. So like my ice cream cone jump, which is that weird like upside down pyramid that I was trying to explain the jumping physics to. Well, it's getting a little weird because I'm getting my acrobatics is going up. So now I jump farther, but the animation is still the same. So now I'm needing to relearn the distance on my jumps.
Oh no.
Because I'm becoming more adept at jumping, which is supposed to help me, but I'm finding what's happening is I'm jumping and landing at weird angles and getting stuck in scenery. And then I have to reboot the game because I'm just stuck. So by improving my skills, it's getting worse. So that's a weird thing I hadn't accounted for. I spent 2 hours. So I was all excited last time because I cleared level 1. I'm still on level 2. And for the life of me, I don't know how to progress.
Oh no.
I like don't know where.
Could it be another hidden door?
So I started just randomly groping at doors and walls just because I'm like, I've lost the will to live in this game. And there are 3 things that I can see. But there's this so in the first level there's that floating Z. Well, there's floating sigils in front of 3 areas that I haven't made it to. And if I go over to them, it electrocutes me to death and I die. So I'm like, well, amazing. That's not great. Yeah, no, that's like a normal doorway should. So I'm like, well, maybe I need these sigils. Like, because I keep picking up all these random Daedric letters. And I used them and tried rushing it. And I got electrocuted and I died. And I'm like, okay, so that's not the answer. I don't know how to get through them. Now, I noticed all of my sigils, they disappear when I use them, and they give me some crappy status effect that I don't understand because I don't know what the symbols mean. And my guy's useless. So they're not the sigils of, like, passing or sigils of, like, opening or whatever they're called. So even though they look like the matching Daedric letter, they're not the correct matching Daedric letter because that's not confusing at all. So I don't know how to get to any of those 3 rooms. And I basically was just meandering around for 2 hours, dying periodically. And I've uncovered as many ways as I can possibly find. And in doing so, I have found some very strange things, including a Daedra lady who we couldn't figure out how. I mean, she didn't have pants, so to speak.
What?
But so she had like this loincloth thing, which we were mesmerized at trying to understand how it was attached to her because it was just dangling in front of her. And I'm like, I don't
God.
understand this character model or anything that's happening right now. I tried to befriend her so that maybe she'd give me an item that I needed to get through.
Oh no.
And she sent a bunch of minions at me. And
Great.
yeah, so that didn't go well. So I killed them. And I was like, all right, let's try again. And she seemed annoyed that I killed them. And in the middle of dialogue, she disappeared and she's gone now. So
Great. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a glitch and I'm screwed or if that's supposed to happen.
That not loving part is my favorite.
So she's not there anymore. And then yes, okay. So Isha has brought up the other Dremora that I found, which I am hard up on not being okay with. This game I keep referencing as being definitely weird. I don't like, I'm uncomfortable with the character model. Like, it is creeping me out. You know those little like Tarzan garb things from like cartoons? It's just like the leopard cheetah print thing that goes over one shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this little girl with an infuriatingly annoying voice. That's all she's wearing. And it's really like, it's like not okay art design awkward. Like, without
what is Bessel Spire?
I don't know, but I was like, what is this? And she talks in this weird baby speak that it is creepy and really as brought up, it's creepy to the like, it's uncomfortably creepy. And I'm like, what is going on in this game?
Elder Scrolls came a long way.
It sure did. It's improved greatly. So I just kind of backed away slowly, being like, okay, we're not dealing with any of whatever this is. Also, apparently so it's just a visual thing, because if you try to figure out what her name is, she's like an eldritch leader of the Dremora clan. Like, she leads all the scamps. She's like their overlord. And I'm like, great, sure, why not? She's the scamp overlord. What of this group? Sure, whatever, why not? So I backed away from all of that nonsense because she wants some item that I can't get because I can't even figure out where to go anyway. So how the hell am I going to find an item? And we found some Riddle Doors because that's back again. And I made note of the Riddle Door specifically. Now, I didn't remember, I didn't write out the whole riddle or whatever, but it was like something along the lines like a shining row of white armor standing on a field of red, blah, 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 blah. The moral of the story, it's teeth. It's a mouth. It's teeth.
Oh,
they were talking about.
I would have never thought about that.
Nope.
So, yeah, well, neither did I, because I stared blankly at the screen, and I think I just typed some swears at the game because I was so like annoyed at that point. And Pylon and a couple others from chat, for anybody who was there, and I don't remember who all of you were that kind of shouted it out. I don't think I mentioned. Did I type up? Damn it! Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't write down. But whoever the group of you were that kind of made reference to it, while I was staring blankly at the screen, several people brought up the fact that they were like, "That's weird. That's really similar to a Lord of the Rings riddle door." And I'm like, what? And they're like, there's a riddle in the Lord of the Rings with like white mounts, blah, blah, blah. And they explain it. They were like, the answer is teeth in the Lord of the Rings. So I just typed teeth and that was the answer.
Wow.
So
I am annoyed that I don't recall this in Lord of the Rings.
Well, that reference was the only reason I got it right, because they made, like, chat brought up the fact that it was like, oh, this is like a bad version of the Lord of the Rings riddle. And I was like, well, maybe the answer's the same. The answer was the same. So
interesting. I mean,
so it got,
if you're gonna put an Easter egg, that's one way to definitely do it.
yeah. So I don't know if that was like a nod in their direct. Oh, apparently it's in The Hobbit.
Well, still, I should know it.
But yeah. So either way, a huge shout out to everyone in chat who made that connection because I did not. And that door, granted, amounted to nothing because I'm still trapped and lost. But at the same time, I appreciated it because it made me have an extra room to look in. But yeah. So all of that, I meandered around. I ran into a bunch of really awkward characters. I didn't accomplish anything. That was it. That was 2 hours of my life was what I spent doing that. That's all I did that entire time. I made it nowhere. Nothing. I progressed not at all. I don't know how to get through the doors. I don't want to talk to the creepy little child. I don't know what to do in this game at all.
But you have to finish it nonetheless, Lotus.
I know.
Because you have started it.
Right. So again, doing these without looking anything up, I was looking up a couple things to see if I had done anything critical failure wise. Because I was like, well, if I've botched something, like I don't want to look up how to complete stuff. Like I want to fumble my way through it. But I have referenced a couple things. I was like, well, have I done that? Like when I was like, is it possible to beat the game if I can't pick up weapons? Did I screw up right out the gate originally? And apparently fist fighting is actually like a really strong strategy in the game. I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah, I was like, oh, sweet. I did one thing right.
Did you ever get the key? The key with the up the scamp's bum.
No, I beat the scamp to death with my fists.
And then I guess
so
he didn't have a key
from his bum.
No, he didn't have a key. I just punched him to death. So he was lying.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I think he just wanted me to do that because he had nothing. So in reference to me looking up just like, oh, have I done anything critical failure wise? And just some of the notes that have been like left on forums and in a Discord that I'm in that's about the old Elder Scrolls games.
Oh.
Well, they'll give you information but not spoil things if you're trying to like experience it, which is exactly what I want in a lot of situations. Some of the notes that I saw are very unnerving because it's just like, oh yeah, I hope you don't have weakness to frost on floor 4. You might as well restart the game. I'm like, what kind of note is that? That's horrible. Like, now, granted, I don't have weakness to frost because I was looking for anything other than can't pick up weapons to hinder myself. But like, there was, I don't think it was while I was scrolling through other stuff. I don't think that's the name of the person I was talking to, but I did see a reference to, if you're talking to a character and they just stop talking to you, that's it. You just can't complete the game anymore. They're just done with you. Like that's just the game ends. Like it doesn't progress. I'm like, well, these are horrible updates. Like these are what I want to read. So yeah, it seemed like there's a lot of potential for failure just at every turn, whether it's self-inflicted or the game's just like, nah, you're
so
done.
Say if
done.
You got stuck at one of these perma progress block points, do you restart it?
I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to space out.
Lotus will be playing Battlespire for the next 16 years.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say, what comes first, Elder Scrolls 6 or I complete Battlespire? I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, in a lot of these things, I'm trying to, unlike save scumming like I was really doing in Arena, I am spacing out my saves as much as possible because I'm like, with the amount of ways that I can apparently just hard screw myself over in this game, whether intentional or not, I'm like somewhat leery that I'm going to get into a situation where it's like, oh yeah, you got to this point in the game. Yeah, you're all done now. You failed. Mayron's Dagon won. You're dead. Congratulations, loser. So yeah, I definitely want to try to stream it again soon. I just got to try to figure out how to juggle that in with the new stuff in ESO, which is super interesting to me. But yeah, hopefully I can beat level 2. Next, there's 7 levels I found out. If I hadn't mentioned that before, there are 7. And I'm on level 2. It's gonna take you so long. In like 9 hours, I'm on level 2.
Well, I will say, to make you feel better, with Arena, you started out super slow, but then
that is valid. That is valid until the end. I mean, the final fight was a joke because I couldn't believe it was over, but it was. I was really confused, and then all of a sudden I became downright efficient for a while, and then I think it was the Crypto Hearts. I think. Well, I think it was the Crypto Hearts where there were like 4 levels, and I was like, when is this gonna stop? Like, but yeah. So hopefully this gets easier. I just would have thought that I would understand the inventory a little more. Like, so many of the things don't even do anything. Like I have a giant puffy cape. You know what it gives me? The ability to have a giant puffy cape. That's it. It doesn't do anything. It's a cosmetic in a first-person single-player game. Why?
Maybe it gives you a secret frost resistance. I don't know.
It apparently gives me the ability to carry 3 pounds less stuff because it weighs 3 pounds. So, yeah, I moral of the story, too long didn't read. I still have no idea what's going on in this game. And it is the amount of sexual innuendos in this game is uncomfortable.
Classic Elder Scrolls games.
Yep. So
I mean, even modern Elder Scrolls games, but they're a bit more subtle with the.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have some of them are hilarious because I find some of them really, really funny. Like when I found the hooker in Arena, and I'm just like, this is hilarious. This game, I'm just like, okay, I don't really don't know how to take all of this. Like some of them have been funny, and other ones I'm just like, wow, this is weird. This is like weird for the sake of weird. So
yeah, that's I guess the entire Battlespire game.
That's valid. I guess when you can talk to literally anything, that's what you're gonna get when you I don't know how to make my personality go up without it just being a base thing. But it's like I really want to talk to more of these things because the ones that don't even use English and they just yell Hanurg at me, I want to know what they're saying because you can respond to them in different made up. It's just like Hanurg, Hanurg, and it's just like all different things. And it's like, what am I doing? Like these are just we're just honking at each other essentially. It's like I don't know what's happening. So, yep, that's really it. I don't know what else to say about this game. It exists.
Isn't there a way to do? Is this the one that can do multiplayer too?
Oh yes. When I complete the game, whatever day that may be, we have a planned deathmatch or capture the flag game planned, which I'll have more details as that gets closer. I wouldn't count on it for several months.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it gets closer, I will announce the stream. And if you have or for some reason don't seem to like yourself and want to get a copy of Battlespire, you're welcome to join in, and we're going to have a giant PvP stream because this game has competitive multiplayer, because why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
Why shouldn't it have that in the year 1372?
Yeah. And yep. So, there's several, I was going to say, Benefactor from the Imperial Library, Pylon from UESP, Ishii has it. So we've got people. We are going to coordinate for this, for a stream so that we can, for science, we'll show the multiplayer, and I'm sure it'll go great.
That's going to be a spectacular dumpster fire.
hopefully I can just be, I want to be the Hanurg thing. That's what I want my character model to be. And I want somebody to be a scamp. And I want somebody, I want you to be able to
with
pick
key or without key.
We should make it a surprise. But yeah, so that's that's pretty much my epic failures from the past show.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of the show, I believe, as we start to doze off as well. So Lotus, where can people find you?
So you can find me on LotusOfDoom on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, or in-game. And again, I don't really have a streaming schedule, although this Tuesday on launch day, we will most likely be blind streaming the new dungeons. And hopefully, all goes well and the patch goes through so that we can do that, have some fun with that. Ideally, we'll be running through them just on Vet just to see how they are. And if you don't know about the other show that I'm part of, every Thursday at 9 p.m., I record the Elder Scrolls Lorecast over at Robots Radio. If you have any interest in the lore, like a more lore, less news style version of things.
There we go. Pixie.
You can find me on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming and on Twitter at HyperPixie Games.
All right, well, and you can find me anywhere that is Arkaniir, ARKHANIIR. I am mainly on Twitter and on our Discord, where you can get to and everything else at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork if you want to help support the show. Or consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and on occasion, it matters. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.